Have you ever really stopped to think about the incredible engineering behind what seems like such a natural process? Well, today we're diving deep into the science of lactation. It is a true biological masterclass in creating the ultimate superfood for a newborn. And what's wild is, it's all on demand.
So this is really the big question that's going to guide us through this whole thing. How on earth does the body manage to design, build, and then operate a system that creates the perfect, custom-tailored food for a baby and have it ready at the exact moment it's needed? It sounds impossible, right? Let's break it down.
Okay, first things first. Let's get on the same page with the definition. You see, lactation isn't just one single action. It's this whole beautifully coordinated process of forming the milk, secreting it for storage, and then ejecting it for the baby. It's a complete production and delivery system all in one.
So where does this whole incredible process even start? You might think it all kicks off right after birth, but no. The body is a master planner. It's playing the long game. The blueprints for this milk factory are actually drawn up years, sometimes even decades in advance.
This whole prep phase has a name. It's called Mammogenesis, and it really unfolds in two main stages. The first bit of groundwork gets laid way back during puberty, when the basic ducts and lobules start to develop. But the major construction project, that kicks into high gear during pregnancy. This is when the glands expand, the blood supply goes way up, and the system even starts producing the first trial runs of that early milk.
And who's in charge of this massive, complex construction job? Well, it's a highly specialized crew of hormones. During pregnancy, you've got this dream team led by estrogen, progesterone, and prolactin. And they all work together seamlessly to build out the entire milk-producing infrastructure.
And what's so amazing is the clear division of labor here. It's like estrogen is the plumber, laying down this whole network of milk ducts. Progesterone is the architect, designing all the little milk-producing rooms, or lobules. And prolactin? Well, prolactin is the general contractor, overseeing the whole project and getting everything ready for the actual milk synthesis. It is an absolutely extraordinary example of biological teamwork.
Okay, so the factory is built, it's fully equipped, it's ready to go, but it's still on standby. So now let's get to that critical moment when the system finally flips the switch and goes into full production.
So picture this. In the final stages of pregnancy, everything is primed and ready. The body is already making tiny amounts of that precious first milk, called colostrum. But, and this is so important, high levels of estrogen and progesterone are acting like a safety brake. They're basically saying, hold on, not yet, preventing the floodgates from opening too soon.
So, what's the trigger? What's the main event that finally flips that switch? It's the delivery of the placenta. The moment the placenta is gone, the source of those high pregnancy hormones vanishes. Estrogen and progesterone levels just plummet. That safety brake is released, and it unleashes prolactin to finally kickstart massive milk production, which usually happens about 2 to 3 days after birth.
And this isn't some invisible process happening deep inside the body. This secretory activation, as it's officially called, is a very real, very physical event for the mother. It's that sudden, distinct feeling of fullness or even engorgement as the milk comes in. The factory is officially open for business.
So, the factory's up and running, but wait a minute. How does it know how much milk to make? Is it making a gallon a day? A cup? This brings us to what might be the most elegant part of the entire system. A perfect feedback loop based entirely on supply and demand.
This whole system is run by two key reflexes. Let's start with the first one, the prolactin reflex. The easiest way to think about this is as the production order. This is the feedback loop that tells the factory, hey, we need to make more milk.
So here's how it plays out. A baby suckles, which sends a nerve signal straight up to the brain. In response, the brain releases prolactin into the bloodstream. That prolactin then travels all the way back to the breast and tells the little milk-producing cells, the alveoli, all right, time to ramp up production for the next feeding.
But making the milk is only half the battle. You've got to get it to the baby. And that's the job of the second reflex, the oxytocin reflex, which you've probably heard called the letdown. And this one is about more than just moving milk. Oxytocin is also famously known as the love hormone, and it plays a huge role in forging that powerful bond between mother and child.
The trigger is exactly the same, the baby's suckling, but the response is totally different. This time, the brain releases oxytocin. Oxytocin travels down and acts on these tiny little muscle cells that are wrapped around the milk-making alveoli. It causes them to contract and literally squeeze the milk that's already there out into the ducts and towards the nipple. So it all boils down to this one super simple but absolutely critical principle. The more milk that is removed from the breast, the more the body gets the signal to produce. It is a perfect self-regulating feedback loop, constantly fine-tuning the supply to meet the baby's exact demand. It's just genius.
All right, we've talked about how the factory gets built and how it operates. But now, let's take a closer look at the incredible product itself. Because breast milk isn't just one static thing. It's a dynamic, constantly changing, absolutely perfect recipe. You see, the makeup of the milk changes pretty dramatically over the first couple of weeks. It starts out as something called colostrum, then it shifts into transitional milk, and finally it settles into what we call mature milk. And each stage is perfectly tailored to what the newborn needs at that exact point in their life.
Let's zero in on that first form, colostrum. People call it liquid gold, and honestly, that's no exaggeration. It's produced in really small amounts, but it is packed. I mean dense, with protein, white blood cells, and antibodies. It's less of a food and more like a baby's first personalized immunization, coating their brand new digestive system with a layer of protection.
So after about 2 weeks, the milk settles into its mature form. And you might be surprised to learn that the vast majority of it, about 87%, is just water. That's why breastfed babies typically don't need anything else to drink. The other 13% is this perfectly balanced mix of carbs, fats, and proteins, all designed for optimal growth. And get this, it's just amazing. The recipe even changes during a single feeding. The milk that comes out at the beginning, the foremilk, is kind of thin and watery. It's designed to quench the baby's thirst. But as the feeding goes on, the fat content starts to climb, and you get this creamy, high-calorie hind milk that provides energy and helps them gain weight. It is literally a drink and a full-course meal, all in one. Now, the entire process is, of course, designed for the baby's benefit. That's the whole point. But it is absolutely not a one-way street. The act of lactation itself provides some really profound and significant benefits for the mother, too.
So for the baby, the benefits are pretty clear, right? Perfect nutrition and this amazing immune boost. But for the mother, the hormones involved in lactation actually help with postpartum recovery. And studies have linked it to long-term health benefits, like a reduced risk for certain types of cancers. It's a truly symbiotic relationship.
So, when you really take a step back and look at the whole picture, a system that prepares for decades, that activates with perfect timing, that runs on a flawless supply and demand loop, and creates a product that immunizes, nourishes, and builds a powerful bond, all at the exact same time, it really makes you wonder, is this maybe the most elegant biological process of all?